Hello, I'm back, and today I'm doing a casual playthrough, Nightmare 100%, of I No Longer Fear the Ranger Guarding My Heel, the first release from ComfyByTheFire, her very first solo release. She's put a few maps in Quake 2, which is well worth playing. Go give that a go right now. Go to Slips here, give that a go. Lots of nice little maps, but this is something entirely different. This was initially made for the SM224 prototype jam, but for whatever reason, I think they were technical, it was spun out into its own thing. And let me tell you, this map is more than suitable for being a single release. 2,222 monsters on all difficulty settings, 49 secrets, a gigantic non-linear, well, it's a hub and spoke really, hub and spoke map with 2 wings and a item shop in the middle. Some really good slaughter fights which have monster counts which envy even Cook or some of the other slaughtery things that I've played in the past by people like Ziggy. Really, there's just a lot of nice things I could say about this, but I'm just going to play it and talk about it as I go. This isn't a speed run. One, this doesn't actually run in the speedrunning source port yet because of some sort of entity overflow thing. I don't know the technical reason. And it's not very optimised either. There's a lot of things I could do better when I watch this back, but I was mainly just playing casually for my own sort of satisfaction and for survival, so I prioritise a lot of things that make it easier for me and less interesting to watch, I suppose, just because I can. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. So here we go. The map begins at this point here. You're in this big central hub area. This map has sort of a hub and spoke layout. There's an east wing and a west wing, and a final fight at the front there. You can see the big gate. So this very vast entrance hall is kind of like a marketplace. It's the same gimmick as Smay to Map 5 by Mazu, or the Dwell to Episode 2 Map 8 thing as well. So you basically get to use silver keys and exchange them for goods and services. At the start, you're given a key to begin with, and you have an immediate choice. All you can afford is a nail gun or a shotgun. And in this case, obviously, you kind of want to take the nail gun. So I take the shotgun. The double barrel shotgun's good because there's another key being guarded by these 2 shamblers, and the double barrel shotgun is just a very nice ammo cheap way of whittling them down. You could take neither if you like and just single shot them or maybe axe them, but it's not quite as good. So what I do here is I stand right back just to try and lure them and pull them toward me. In a speed run, this would not be a good way of doing it. You'd probably want to be a bit more active, get aggressive, get up in their face, but for a casual playthrough, it works out okay, I think. You can see here that the lighting does a lot of work, a lot of heavy lifting with making the place feel extremely atmospheric. The simple texture work and the architecture is very vast, so there's no real detailing so to speak of, but like the larger brushes make up the detailing, and it all comes together nicely with all the colour, the nice solid blocks of colour, the decals on the wall, stuff like that. I think it looks really good. First, another secret here, another 2-part one. All of the secrets in this map are relatively straightforward. They're all like basically, can I jump to this, can I get to this kind of things. There's nothing which is like particularly involved, there's no super secret that I know of or anything like that. It's just resources along the path really. So since this is a 100% run, we're going to open all these key doors. You don't have to. A lot of the map is optional because a lot of the map is just based on like there are silver keys and secrets and resources in these. You can actually do a speedrun on this map, and I would say I've done it in 5 minutes just as an exploration on Nightmare to see how fast you can do it. The only resources you need from keys are the things for the final fights, which is mandatory. And with LG and grenades you can do that. So we're going to take the west wing first, purely because I'm prioritising getting some nasty jumps out of the way, which were basically run killers for me pretty consistently. I really don't like them, so everything I do is based on getting there first. The first objective is to get 2 keys. 2 keys gives us a grenade launcher, which is the next great item in the progression. After that, we're going to go get the LG, then we can get the rocket launcher, then the final part is getting the super nail gun. The super nail gun, copper, it's not a straight upgrade to the nail gun, has a different niche, and if, you want to be diverse with your ammo pool availability basically, so LG is better, even though LG is more expensive. LG is 4 keys as opposed to 3. But grenade launcher is 2 keys, so we're going to go get what we need to do that now. This room I'm in here with the shifting platforms and the staircases, I come to this more than once. A really cool strategy for this would be just to ignore everything and basically come clean it out later on at the end of the map, because it repopulates, but I don't do that, I don't think, here. And you can see how annoying those moving platforms are. There's also a lot of secrets in here as well. There's a lot of health, a lot of ammo, bits and pieces scattered around if you dare go around. There are crushers, don't get crushed by those. Many an embarrassing death. But this area leads off to one of our 2 objectives. At each wing there's like a little transmitter which gives power to the exit gate. You can actually see a little detail over like the emblem on the door. There'll be some lightning going to it on either side. It's quite subtle, but it's nice little touches like that to show that you're doing something here. You're building up to something. And we're just working our way up here. But now we have our 2 keys, so I am making a beeline for that. Was a very close grenade. Making a beeline for that grenade launcher. And it's such a vast room, this, it really is. I'm afraid that because I'm moving around and poorly circle jumping, you can't really get a nice sense of the scale, but there's lots of things in this map you look at and just think, ooh, that's very pretty. It's a really, really effective use of prototype textures, as I was saying before. It goes to show that solid blocks of colour and prototyping, it means that it's great because you can do rapid iterations of the map. You can put a huge amount of gameplay stuff in there. I mean, this map was made in, I think, like 10 days, 11 days by Comfy, and that's very impressive. And she's relatively, not had many releases under the belt, so I'm genuinely like in kind of awed respect for that, because it's this is one hell of a map to have as your first solo like non-jam map out of the gate, And I'm still cleaning up in here. Unfortunately, it's not too interesting to talk about, honestly, because it is just me taking my time. As you can see here, this is recorded yesterday when I was still a little bit unfamiliar with the routing. So there's a lot of times where I make mistakes. You could easily shave 10 minutes off this demo, like easily with the same route if you like to play more aggressively and sensibly. So you'll see a few moments where I'm kind of like thinking, what should I do now? Where should I go now? Not good for a speedrun, but hey, that's fine, that's fine. I did have a little go, I admit, before recording this commentary to see if I could do it again, and I got 50 minutes into the map, and then I accidentally killed myself on a spawn, and I thought, I've got such limited time during the week, I'll just cry myself to sleep and just accept this demo as the one. I mentioned before, maybe, I can't remember what I did in the intro, that I recorded the demo for this before, which was even a little bit faster than this. It was 58 minutes. But I didn't actually record a demo, I just loaded the map up and played it through. So this will be my 3rd actual exit on this map. So, 2nd exit, no, 3rd. No, it's my 3rd. It's my 3rd actual successful exit 100% on this map. Because this is slightly better than the attempt I had before, which was, I fucked up some progression stuff badly, which is why I started again. When you've only got 2 hours of Quake in a day, you've got to really put your time in. You've got to think about it. Anyway, finally, something more to talk about. We've reached the top here. So this outer area here is where the transmitter is. It's just around this pillar. Combat, as you can see, considering how there's 2,000 monsters, is pretty darn light. It's pretty easy and straightforward so far in terms of monster density. The vast majority of the monsters you'll find are in 2 fights, one of which is a teleporter, which I just walked past several times, a really big one, and the rest are in the final fights. There's about 1,000 in that. But the combat setups and the arenas are pretty nasty still. So what I'm doing here now is I've pressed this button, which makes a teleporter shortcut to come back up here, and unlocks half the gate. That's half the objectives of the actual required objective of the map's done. Now I'm prioritising doing some trick jumping stuff here. The secrets are all marked by how difficult they are, and these are all the quote-unquote nightmare difficulty secrets, because they are all about, in this case, doing ramp jumps, which I despise. Because because I find them so finicky and basically random, I guess, because air acceleration and turning in the air and all sorts of things affect the angle at which you can jump onto ramps if you get like boosted by jump pads onto ramps, so it's tricky. Mazu's map, the Brutalist Jam map, is has a really good example of these, which is super fun, but it's also like a nightmare to 100%, which is why I've not done an SDA compliant 100% of that map, because I don't want to go back and do that. This jump here, this jump is a circle jump, but it's a really perfect circle jump, so I just grenade every time, because I can't do it reliably. And here you've just got to like take the ramp jump and move as little as possible. Otherwise you go at that ramp at a funny angle, the 45-degree jump up, and you don't get high enough. This continues as well, these jumps. You want to tap back so you can land on the rocket launcher platform, and then you can continue onto that other platform with the LG ammo that I got to there. You can also just go straight along the ground and bounce along the walkway that I'm currently standing on, just so you can see the distance to get onto that secret there, or rocket jump onto it, so you've got a lot of choices. There's another secret which comes off that jump pad as well, but I have a different way of getting to it that I get to right at the end of the map, purely because I don't want to have to do the jump pad stuff again. Everything that I do in this demo is set up basically to prioritise getting this and another jumping sequence out of the way as soon as humanly possible, so I can actually enjoy myself, because they're tricky and they are proper run killers. It's not something you want to do 15 minutes into a map. Doing it 10 minutes into a map, like we are currently, take my chances with that, that's okay. Good eye secret, and here we have a little cache of ammo. One of the bonuses of doing this route that I created here is you get a little cache of ammo without affecting your key distribution for unlocking the core weapons. It's a key that's free for me basically, and I like it. So, this now is the upper area above the marketplace. There are 4 little arenas in each quadrant here, in the northwest, northeast, southwest, whatever else. And they all have different fights in them for silver keys. I'm now just walking past the actual true entrance to the one I'm about to go into. It's a series of these jumps where you have to surf on some ramps. You can actually see it snaking around there. And that's a really cool thing to do, but that's also hard. It's not harder than, it's not that hard, but it's something that I prefer not to do. If you want to see a good example of that, again, look at Mazu's. Was it a Sewer Jam map, or was it... Yeah, I think it's a Sewer Jam map that has one of those. Or was it the Brutalism Jam? I don't know. Either way, I choose to avoid it here. Instead, I go to this secret here with the funny bounce pad. I missed the thing where I can knock all the visitors down like Skittles, but if you air control and wiggle your mouse, you can hop over the fence and get to here, and skip half of this maze, because this is called How Do I Get Back, and this is just basically you've got to shoot the switches and jump across, but the jumps require little circle jumps here and here, and the platforms are fast, so if you're too slow the platform will start retracting, you'll miss your jump. That is deceptively hard, and again I prioritise getting it out of the way as soon as possible, but you can see here, look, here's where you would surf around on the ramps. You would surf around on the ramps and ramp jump up to here, and then you've got a circle jump and then ramp jump off that ramp there to get up to the upper level. Then you can rocket jump or grenade jump to go up to the clever girl secret I got if you'd like, or however you want to do it. So it works quite nicely the way I do this. It's a bit cheesy, I apologise, I really should be showing off the map's design in a nice way, but sometimes it's nice to show off ways you can bypass things you don't want to do. Because with a big map like this, 100%, you have to do everything, but you don't have to do it the way the mapper intended you to. Sometimes if you can find that edge, it gives you anything you want in something which takes you an hour, or, well, feasibly this is really a 45-minute map at the end of the day. Probably. Maybe faster, with a better route. So now we're going back. As you can see, the area has repopulated. Also, when you drop down from the upper level, the area will repopulate. I think it repopulates 3 times, each time's with nastier opposition. So, I got a couple of feats that time. Next time there'll be a Shambler. At the time after that there'll be, I think, is it 4 Shamblers and 4 Vors? Which is very, very mean. That's a really cool trick though, because it forces you to pick the quad up. One of the gates has quad behind it. It costs 1. It costs 1 to pick the quad up. One key. And basically it's one of those situations like, I'm going to go to the shop and spend my keys. oh no, I'm in the attack, you know. You think it's not safe, so you're forced to pick up the quad and take care of business, which is nice. It's mean, but it's nice. But you know what? It's good to have a map that's oppressive and mean. Good jump by me there to get onto this platform. But in a faster attempt, I wouldn't bother doing that. I would just keep moving. So, heading back here, you can see all those guys who are on the balcony have now filtered down to there, so I can shoot them, which is fantastic. You'll also notice there's lots of wizards, scrags, that kind of float around here. So, they're cool because they harass you at awkward times. Basically, they'll clear themselves out and they thin themselves out by attrition eventually, but it's something to keep an eye out on. So, amazing secret as well, I just skipped over there. That's what you can get if you do some jumps. Or you can just circle jump around to it like I did there. Skip the progression to it. This whole area here is basically just a maze that has a bunch of, raising and lowering platforms. Nothing more complicated than that. Basically, this whole section here is kind of just, it's quite gentle. It's a bit of downtime. It's not too much to worry about here. There's nothing I have to really be concerning myself with, except for down in that pit there is a pentagram protection, which is probably the world's most obvious trap, by far. Falling backwards off this wall while fighting these guys is something I've done a few times. If you fall backwards, you end up on a little lip, you can just see the edge of it there. And every time that happened in earlier attempts, I would just grenade jump back out with a sullen look on my face. Which I thought was fun. I thought it was very funny. But as you can see, we're getting some keys in this arena. Nothing but keys for us here. Which is good, because that's what we want. So we are now focusing on getting the LG. That's our next big priority. And then we want the rocket launcher. And once we have those things, basically we're laughing. But those are our big targets right now. The ammo distribution is actually pretty generous now in this map. It was quite harsh in the earlier versions, but now I would say that I never really felt myself starving for ammo, really, which is good, a good place to be, because ammo distribution on a map with so much stuff is bloody hard work. It really is. It's not easy. So let's go down here. Oh, it's a trap. Because, of course it's a trap, logically, right? Of course it's going to be a trap. Why wouldn't it be? Mistake here. The best thing to do is to stand behind that little cenotaph-like spike in the corner of that place, and everything will jump into this pit, like they've done, and then you can kill them. By jumping too far around like I have here, it allows some to escape down into the raising and lowering maze, and it also allows some to escape into the main shop area, both of which are situations that kind of are a pain in the ass to clean up afterwards. But you're a wizard, Harry, you get that secret. You're a ranger, Harry, and then Aragog. Is Aragog Harry Potter? Or is Aragog Lord of the Rings? Isn't Aragog the spider in Harry Potter? It's been a while. And then there's a series of secrets around here. Oh, look at this, 3 secrets. Oh, 3 secrets. Diddly-dee, fantastic. And down. So this is my other jump down. This is my jump down to pick up the LG. I don't want to fall down again now, so I make a bunch of concessions to ensure that I don't fall down with the platforming, because the big scary reveal is coming shortly. But you can see here I'm waiting. I'm waiting, because here's our reward, a single shambler. I guess it would probably be better just to leave this guy down here, and then when I jump down the next time I can, nuke him and take care of him, but I didn't think that far ahead, to be honest with you, when I was playing this. I was playing casually. I was talking to my friends on the Mumble. We were having a little chat as I was playing this. I wasn't really focusing on the game that hard, so there's a lot of moments where you can see my brain slip in gear, because I'm not one of the people who can talk and play a game at the same time in a very fluent way, which is why I record these after I record the demo, so you can hear my disorganised thoughts. And there, with 100% of my brain, this is all I can do. I can talk to you in this kind of weird, drivelly way. Really nice grenade from the enemy there. So I think here what I do, though, is I start skipping enemies. The only enemies that I kill in this room are things that are actually dangerous. The Vors and the Enforcers. With Copper, they fire a lot. They fire continuously. You don't want to mess about with those fellas. That's for sure. So we do so. Good times. So, where are we going to go now? Ideally at this point, I'll be going to the left-hand side at this point, but Right now, I think I go to the right again to pick some ammo up because I get a little bit confused, and I want to trigger a secret, I seem to recall. Yeah, you can see the confusion on my face here. This is an inefficient way of doing it. This is not good ammo planning, basically. This isn't good planning. Oh, I don't know why I come down here. I think I was nervous that there might be a spawn down there, because in the soundtrack, it's the Zerg soundtrack, I think, from some of the Zerg music from StarCraft. But I constantly thought I was hearing enemy growls and stuff under it. Yeah, secret found a little planning. Fantastic. And then you can jump out of this area again, so I can come here for free without having to drop down, because you can use a secret to get back onto this main circular ring road. It's worth mentioning this circular ring road, the middle of it has a fight on it that I'm avoiding because I want a quad, and the quad is at the top of the staircase for the east wing of the map that I've not done yet. You don't need the quad, but it makes it a trivial fight as opposed to a vaguely risky one. So I can come down here. Those of you who are astute will have noticed there was a pack of shells, which I could have jumped to with a bit of air control, just beneath that pillar, which I didn't do. This is an example again of how inefficient and slow I'm playing here. So this maze, I like it because the block is pitch black and there's loads of shadows that are naturally casting, so when the block comes towards you and there's like a shadow near you, sometimes the block pushes you and you don't really know where you are. It's really just super disorienting. But in a good way. So I play it super safe here, even though there's only really this one thing, and the maze is very, very short, but I don't want to get squished. It will squish you if you get stuck on a corner here, so I'm just playing super passively, taking my time, killing all the fiends as we see them. You know, don't want to get ambushed by a spawn. You can see how these skags do harass you at the most inopportune times, but thankfully I can look straight up because I'm not using Quake. No speed running for this game on this map, because this map doesn't actually run with the speedrunning source port. That's the only reason this isn't a speedrun. That's a aside for you there. There is a switch also which will not be pressable on this map in Quake, and that is the Aragog secret in the pit where the spawns came in. The button I pressed on the ceiling to get the mega. I don't think you can touch that in Quake, so this map isn't 100% completable in Quake, even if it actually loaded in Quake without crashing, because it's so massive. And it hits an entity limit, so maybe that'll be patched, I'm not sure. I probably should report that as a bug, shouldn't I? Apologies if I haven't, Comfy, and also to the speedrunner people like Flex, who would be probably hopping mad if I don't report it, so. Anyway, end of the maze, there was a button. That opens up this cage here to the Mega Health, which I am ignoring for the time being. I'm being super passive here, super careful. Why? I don't know. Another amazing journey. Eesh. What am I doing? Ah, because there's one guy still in the maze. Usually they ambush you on that staircase when you're trying to push up to get the two ogres. But this time, it didn't. So, just give him a couple shots. Grab that lovely Mega Health. And I've still got my red, which is good. There's only 2 red armors in this entire map before the final fight. So one of them in that secret that I found, and one behind a key door. You can buy it, I think for 2 keys. So I'm making the most of it, even though I don't really need to worry too much about it. It does mean that the 50 HP cap is no longer a concern of mine. And this is a lovely fight here, lovely secret fight. Hell in a Cell. Called Hell in a Cell because it fills up the Hell Knights. Now, the difficult part of this fight is not touching all of the ammo boxes and squandering them. I want to save them as best I can, so I use the nail gun to try and kind of circle around best I can, and then when I start clipping on stuff, the LG comes out. It is possible for them to spawn pretty much directly inside you almost, and really do a lot of damage. So, be careful, always be ready to switch to the LG. And now I'm going to drop down. You can technically just jump onto the ring roads, but the spikes that keep the cage enclosed, they don't lower all the way into the floor, so you kind of clip on them. And I found that it was possible to not get onto the ring road safely. So I thought, let's just spend the extra 20 seconds and go through the maze again to jump back onto that ring road instead of risking potentially falling, messing the run up 20 minutes in, which would not be fun. It's all about minimising risk when you're playing longer runs like this. It's about saying, I could do this balls to the wall, but I don't have the free time to do so. I'm just going to jump up here instead and get ourselves back onto the central ring. So we have 2 of the 4 areas now completely cleared. Well, 3, strictly speaking. We've got 3 of them cleared because, of course, I've done the bounce pad there. So there's 1 left, which is exactly where we want to go. And I'll show you why. This is a fight that works in 2 different ways. It's actually a really cool fight when you do it the intended way, but my way here just saves ammo, which is my concern. So you have this area here. When you kill these guys, who exist purely just to be in the way, it's an L-shaped arena, and it spams a bunch of fiends down on you, and there are those guys who are asleep at the key. So you want to try and keep the fiends up there and grenade them while they all ping-pong off each other without waking up the shamblers. It's quite fun. It's quite fun. But instead, I take advantage of the fact that I know that I'm going to have an ambush down here, which is going to require me picking up the quad. And I know they can follow me, because everything on this map has, you can see there's loads of clipping bushes so they can jump over my head, as you can see there, and get all over the place in a chaotic way. So I thought, I want to get everything. I want to get as much with the quad as possible. And this is a pretty decent attempt at that, actually, to be honest with you. This is dangerous, though, this fight, because the room is big enough and dark enough that you can get ambushed from the side. Didn't kill all the shamblers, I'm not happy about that, and you can see now my beautiful red armour gone, away, never to be seen again. And you can see there, sometimes stuff gets stuck on the clipping bushes going up and down the stairs endlessly, which is really funny. Oh. They are cheeky bastards. They are cheeky, cheeky bastards, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So, we're now going back again for the final time through this route. I don't have to go this way, but since it's repopulated again, I do want to get rid of this Vor on the off chance they walk themselves into a stupid place. So I do so. I also decide for some reason that I want health because I'm a coward. I don't need health in this situation. And then I think better of it, or do I go upstairs? I don't remember. I think I think better of it, I think. Yeah, I do. I think actually, no, it's fine. I don't have enough keys to unlock anything I want, so let's just go back up. And you can see here it's all repopulated, so this room is a prime candidate for a clean-up. Everything drops down as well. Everything will potentially drop down. Enemies walk onto the moving platforms. They bounce all over the place. They usually end up down at the bottom level eventually. Which is great. Which is what we want. What we really, really want. And then there's this bloody shambler at the top here that's a serious pain in the ass. I could try and snipe it down, but I think I just choose to take damage. Let's find out what I do. And this is where one of the things I hate about this demo comes in, actually. One of the core inefficiencies that made me want to do it again immediately. This is it. This is just time wasting. So, there's the cell secret that I've completely ignored. I'm now formulating a plan in my head of, hey, I can kill these guys down here, not realising I could come back here with the rocket launcher when I've done the final fight with 100 ammo and kill them much faster. I think I'm going to spend my nails. Why am I going to spend my nails? Because I'm going to go back to the secret path on the right-hand side to try and get these secret cells and a bunch of ammo from there. It's completely unnecessary, but it goes to show there's a lot of resources out here if you want to scrounge them up, basically. So I'm going to go all the way back around here just to collect some paltry nails. Bit of health, just get yourselves fully stocked. It's not the best. I'm not happy with that. It's so pointless. The more I look at this map, the more it reminds me of the Doom map in terms of design. It reminds me, with the map just because of the purple sky and the bright primary colours, but it reminds me of like the Major Arlene Z-Doom stuff, like Technical Antichrist box, things like that. Which I don't really enjoy how those maps play too much, but they're pretty maps. I enjoy how this map plays, though. I really enjoy how much this map plays, trust me on that one. Anyway, so here we go. I got what I wanted. Fucking marvellous. We're going back up, and now we're going to drop back down again. Because a secret I should have picked up earlier, I now go collect my dues for it. Which is this box here. Because you can just easily circle jump around the corner and, you know, just collect that and then go into the maze. I just chose not to for some reason. It's one of those completely incomprehensible design, like route design choices from me. Which, no good. And then I decided to start cleaning stuff up here purely because I just like to shoot things. I think because this is the final repopulation of this room, I decided to clean it all out here now. So, fair enough, I suppose. I've half committed, might as well take advantage and do everything. But you can see they worm themselves everywhere. They're like ticks. They burrow deep inside the map, and you've got to really work hard to push them out. Anyway. So, where are we going now? I wonder. There's still the teleporter above I've not done yet. And really I should have used a shortcut teleporter to get to the upper level anyway to do this, so... C'est la vie. Yeah, you can see here that central arena, there's 2 keys in there. Ooh, it's tempting, but it's also kind of forbidding looking, isn't it? You wouldn't be wrong, it's very dangerous. Alright, moving on. So you can see this nice L-shaped arena. It's fun to fight loads of fiends with a grenade launcher. I think it's one of the pleasures of Quake. It's relatively tricky not to kill yourself. You've got to really take advantage of your mobility to get yourself out of splash radius. And there's a secret up here on these dark bricks. The Fiendish Friends key. Oh god, and it keeps going. Look at that, secret within a secret. I was kind of shocked at how stupid that was of me there. I completely forgot about that fella. You can look down at the sun and the crescent moon and the stars and all the other nice icons. A sword there. I think all of the motifs on the wall here in these solid colours, I think they're supposed to be tarot card motifs. I think. They look nice either way. Alright, so we can jump along to here, Twist of Fate, and from here we can drop down into Choice of Shadow Secret. What I did there is I telefragged the Vor. This would be quite a nice fight if it wasn't for me being able to do that, because it would be a situation where I've got a Vor on one side and then I've got some zombies who are very effective at chucking stuff on the other. It would split my attention, but nah, it's alright. A couple of grenades, they're all dead right as rain. And now unfortunately we need to go back up, because there's one more secret that you can drop down to from up here. So, you know, another bit of platforming. So at this point we're roughly halfway into the map, believe it or not. We've done one wing of the map and all of this extra all this stuff here. And now we're going into the east wing and doing a bunch of stuff there. This is where this demo really starts to fall apart and get super slow for no reason, so... You know, you might want to load up another tab right now, get your phone out, start looking at your phone, reading some hilarious post on Mastodon or Co-host or Blue Sky or whatever it is people are on now. I don't know what I'm doing. Ah yes, rocket launcher. That's the next one I need to get. Rocket launcher. Alright, great. So, east wing of the map. East wing of the map, notable because there are more keys immediately accessible. However, there is more opposition immediately in your way to get to said keys. It may be faster to do it this way. I've really not actually considered the possibilities of the route, because I was prioritising doing jumping puzzles above everything else. But this might be the way to do it in future. But there is a ring, and the ring is super handy for clearing this section out of grenades. Makes it relatively safe. There are clipping bushes that allow the monsters to jump up and down the stairs like mad. Look at that, like a mad bastard. Look at that. Oof. So it's best to keep your distance. No worries at all, no worries at all. And there's a hole in the ceiling above this area as well, where there's loads of spawns that are waiting, and they can sometimes filter through down here. They kind of slither toward the player if you hang about at the top level too much. And you want to be careful for that, because obviously monsters going walkabouts affects your possibility of getting 100%. There's a quad in there. That's the quad I'm going to use for the central arena fights, which I'll talk about when we get to it, after I thoroughly trivialise it. Yeah, see that big circle up there? There's spawns all around the rim. I think I actually trigger some in this demo by hanging about for here doing this for too long. Like, dude, what am I doing, boss? So I'm thinking about it. Thinking about it. What's next, Corin? Think about it. Ah. So, outer area here. There's a gimmick on the eastern wing of this map, and that is as follows. You see that lovely orb on top of that pillar? That orb on top of that pillar is like the evil eye in Rubik's Magnolia. They are very dangerous. It shoots continuously. It will not stop, even if straight line of sight. So be careful. It does give you this cool fight here where you've got to kind of just get the key. The danger in that fight there is that you can easily get yourself clipped onside one of the boars and just die instantly. So got to be careful. It's also cool that, like, in terms of styling, it's like it looks like the other outer walkways of the map, but it's all collapsed and it's all sunken. The tower where I shoot the rockets there is the same. It's a nice thing. It's like the sense of ruin coming to this place. It's a nice touch. It's a real nice touch. I have no idea. Oh, I'm trying to get the. I'm thinking about it. Yep. No, you don't want to mega health. You just want to get the quad. Quad before the storm. Definitely a quad designed for this next arena. So this arena, Paper Tiger, you will see. It's got the rotating lightning thing that Scumfuck has by Fairweather, but much faster. And what controls whether it turns on or off is killing all of the Vors outside, while under attack by all of these extremely damaging enforcers who can really shred you, and jumping over the beam. If you know about it though, you can defuse that fight in like 2 seconds flat like I did there. If you don't know about it, it's difficult. The initial releases had more lightning around the ring kind of arena, forcing you inside, and that would also have the side effect of making your LG beam invisible, so even being able to see the Vors was a virtual impossibility. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing here. What am I doing here? This is... I have no idea what that's about. That's me losing my marbles for a moment there. I think I hear something, so I hear grunting, so I'm thinking, where's the monster? Super nail gun though. Good reward. Good reward. Good fight, good reward. Anyway, the LG fight. Also the middle, the floor. There's a floor there. It's invisible. It puts a floor there, so you can't drop out and escape. You are forced into that fight. In its current state though, it's a bit of a paper tiger. It's more of a pushover than it looks. That's a demon. Watch out for the fiends being stuck up in the rafters. And I think here, I think to myself, can I afford this? I can. Get fully stuck up on some more rockets. Magic. Happy days. So, now we can continue upward on our journey to this section here, which is, I think, really cool. The walls shift and move constantly, up and down, and every time the walls shift there's an underneath or an above or something like that which will have a secret and some more monsters. So you can see here the floor shifted, underneath I have all these fiends. Nice enclosed box fight. It is intimidating if you're not prepared for it and not, you know, getting your grenade spam going. You can easily get cornered, boxed in. Watch out. Another thing to think about here is because these are moving platforms, when the fiend leaps, suddenly if the platform starts moving under your feet, the fiend's movement will not be what you predict. It will be very strange. It'll go over your head, under your head. Rockets, as you can see, they go over the heads of monsters. It's a tricky situation to find yourself in, you know? But it's okay. It's not a problem. You also have to be careful here. If you fight that guy and you let the lift go up, you'll wake up a fiend that will come from behind you and attack you, so you got to do things in the right order. the underlift secret, the actual one. There's a fake underlift secret. Or, well, there's another underlift secret. There's 2 in this map. So for those of you who don't like that, you know, maybe put this map on your blacklist. Just, you know, like if you don't like crate maps, you have your crate maze hater map. But no, there's 2 underlift secrets in this map. When you have 40 secrets, I think you're entitled to an underlift secret. I would like to see a map that has 49 underlift secrets. I think that would be amusing. Under the underlift. Anyway, so I'm now just clearing this area out. Shifting planes of secrets. This is the final one. And good, because there's a pent at the end of that which I want to instrumentalise for the next little ambush, which is another, like, on blind playthrough, much scarier ambush. If you watch my blind playthrough, you can see how I panic and the horrible crying noises I make in terror. Squeaking out in terror, for those who like that sort of thing. So now I'm thinking about it. You can get crushed to death by those doors, by the way, because of the like the wrought iron detailing work, which is quite funny. And there you heard one of the spawns had actually dropped down from the ceiling, but I made a mental note of that and just moved on. Just moving on, pushing on. No big deal. So slow. Here I've forgotten the route I'm supposed to be taking. I'm supposed to be getting to the upper level. So as you can see, I am burning out my mega health, which is what I went to go collect. I wanted the mega before I continued to give me an edge. And it's already ticking away quite quickly. Also wasting everybody's time, ensuring this demo is going to be over an hour long in length, and making me cry in the process. So many little things in this demo that make me think, ooh. But hey, look at that. We got ourselves the pentagram of protection. Marvellous. And underneath, a lava dip. More LG. Fantastic. And another key. So this here is a trap, and it puts you into this thing with the fish. There are so many fish here, and they're copper fish, they're very fast, and they kind of latch onto you. You can die so easily in this place. It is terrifying. If you discharge your LG in the water here, it will crash the map instantly, so don't do that. Whatever you do, don't do that. But I really like that trap. I like how it's got that cool motif on the ground and the blue. It's such a welcome relief from all of the kind of monolithic and oppressive red and black to finally be in a nice blue space. I kind of wish there was more water stuff, but I'm afraid not. I'm afraid not. This is all you get, so enjoy it while you can. Lots of ammo to stock up with down here again, and you can see that my mega is well and truly gone, so I kind of wasted my time even collecting it. And down we go again. Those pillars down there are cool because they telegraph what's about to happen. You can see they're the orb shooting pillars, and this is like a big catwalk you need to run forward while the orb pillars shoot at you constantly. I really like this. This is super like Magnolia in by Rubik's in Doom. Really, really close to it. I really wish there was more of this and it was harder, because it's fun to have to like deal with a constant existential threat like that at all times that just you can't do anything about until you get to the end of the map. Other cool ideas for a map: why not have a Vor that's unkillable, that's just constantly spamming out balls the entire time in a room, which you have to just deal with the projectiles as they come and dance around and stuff. Not in copper, in real, you know, proper nightmare Vors. Things like that. It's fun. It's fun to have obstacles that you can't do anything about. And because those are enforced projectiles, that really hurts if it tags you. It will kill you pretty much instantly on nightmares, so you gotta be careful. Super mean, super mean putting fiends down there. I was prepared for it and I still took the damage. So now I run away with my tail between my legs, unfortunately. It's the little things like this that make the end of the map here very slow for me, when really I should just be bounding through this at warp speed. Worth mentioning as well that just behind me at this point there's usually a ogre in a little box who will ambush you from behind, but since I went and pushed out and hid around the corner where that was, all the lasers hit him. And there you are, we're at the end of the gauntlet. We've turned off the laser array. Fucking marvellous. So, we're coming up to now a fight that I thought was the hardest in the entire set before I figured out how to do it by actually being told, basically, by Comfy how to do it directly. It is brutal, though. It can go horribly wrong if you're not careful, and there's pretty much very little you can do about it if it does. So, there's a ring here. This ring. Please use this ring correctly. Do not shoot the fiends, because if you shoot the fiends when you've got the ring out, their jump arc is, they won't jump directly there, they'll jump to the side of you. So your muscle memory kicks in to try and dodge, and you'll be walking into their jump. So this arena here, we're taking advantage of the fact that one of those pillars is now shooting. The pillar will eventually stop shooting when you're up here, but you want it to stop shooting before you do this fight. If you explore out in the other direction, there'll be another pillar shooting from off-site as well, and that's at feet level, and that will make this next fight really hard, so it's best to just chill like I'm doing here, use that laser to kill the shamble that's currently there, and set myself up for this next fight. There's 3 health kits here. There were 4 health kits initially, but now there were 2 health kits before sight, now there's 3, because I complained. Also, there is going to be a laser fence that's going to surround this entire area that does kill you instantly if you so much as look at it, basically. So you've got to be super careful for enemy projectiles pushing you into it if you try and circle around the outer edge of these pillars. But what we're doing here, these pillars come to life with lasers. I telefrag 1 vor. This is a very important thing to do. It means that I can start circling here without getting shot in the back, basically. And what I'm trying to do, it goes horribly wrong, so I give it up. What you're trying to do is you're trying to just keep going in a circle around those fellas to get them to melee you so they'll telefrag each other. It doesn't work at that point, but eventually, with the amount of stuff that spawns in and with these lasers and stuff causing them to flinch, they usually get themselves busy at some point, so as long as you don't get unlucky, you can survive this with some degree of consistent work. But this was another fight that made me doubt, do I really want 100% this map? Am I okay to do this? Because it's always going to be so deep into a run, 40 minutes in, for 45 minutes in this particular one? But it worked out, and I'm really happy about it. And I never actually died to this ever again when I figured it out. But it's cool, I like the idea. It's kind of telegraphed in a way as well, with the sun emblem on the floor and stuff. It's great. But it's important, don't jump when you've got a laser grid like that tracking you, because if you jump it means that you won't be able to circle without one of the bolts, usually at a higher or lower angle. You'll walk into it. Never jump, and make sure those 2 lasers that you can see that I'm looking at there aren't active at the same time, because if they're at feet level, you've got to jump, and you're going to take huge amounts of damage, basically. Now I'm trying to clean up the best I can this upper area, and this is where I make a massive tactical blunder which wastes about a minute. So we can all enjoy that together. I'm just looking to kill everything. I'm annoyed because one of the fiends hasn't come up. And I'm thinking, I get impatient. I should have just waited because he would have eventually worked his way back up here. But where is the fiend? X-Files music playing. The fiend was already dead. So, whoops. Now I need to wait for this laser array to stop. Which we do. We wait now patiently, happily. But you can see that it's dodgy, because I want to shoot some stuff off this edge here that I'm looking at. But I've got to wait for this to end. So I think it's 15-20 seconds? There we go. So now we can look down here. We're above that major stairwell to enter the east wing. And we can kill our lovely flubbery friends, as the secret is called. Flubbers is not a good film, by the way. Do not watch Flubber. Robin Williams. No. And we're on this area here. This is an alternative path to get to the signal tower, which is just in front of me, which unlocks the second part of the map. If you don't do what I did, you could have gone right instead of left at that main junction outside. And there's another fight you can take to get to here, which I could have done. But I chose to do this instead because 1, I get one of the secrets, and 2, I get more ammo, which is really what I wanted more than anything. I wanted more rockets, so this is the best way of doing it, I feel. You can jump to this platform and trigger this secret from the tower above. You can then rocket jump onto the Flubbery Friends thing. There's another secret that you can walk off the ramp to get to. Or you can also get to it if you just fall into the abyss, which I actually do take advantage of here. It looks like a mistake, and it kind of was, but it also wasn't, because I meant to do it anyway immediately afterwards. So I'll point that out when we get to it. But approaching this fight from this angle is much safer than approaching it from the other, because if you approach it from dropping down onto this, basically what happens is the map pushes you forward, because it spawns a bunch of stuff behind there, and you've got the aggression coming from this angle here on this ledge, etc, etc, and you're being pushed into the waiting arms of the shambler that's on the ground level, the shambler that's in the tower, because they won't be awake if you've gone the other way, and it gets really messy really fast. But instead, we're working it backwards. That gives us complete control. I'm playing super safe, because I can. Oh, and it's beautiful. It works out quite a treat. I forget my LG ranges. I sulk. All is well. And don't forget there is a single knight, a single wizard off in the distance. Make sure you don't forget to kill them. Fantastic. So now we're just about ready to open the signal tower and away we go for the final fights. Are you excited? I think I'm something like 44 secrets in, 45 secrets in out of 49. I've only killed about 700 monsters though, so think about that. This map has 2,222 monsters. I've only killed 700 of them. Which is a hell of a lot of monsters on a normal Quake map, but not even halfway. And there's an underlift secret, a genuine underlift secret. Enjoy that one. There we are, shortcut teleporter opened up on the market. And whoop. Control Tower 2, the final door's now open. That beautiful, ornate, white, sort of pseudo cast iron gate is now open. That lift is bugged, by the way. You'll see that later. So now I'm thinking, what do? I'm thinking there's something I need to explore. I haven't fully explored the path for this area, so I'm having a little think to myself, and I'm thinking I've just got to go for it. This is where I make a second major mistake, where I'll explain to you how you're supposed to actually approach this fight. So going back, if you use the teleporter, it will teleport you to the upper level and above, and just to the left is the junction, the right and left junction where the ring was. So it spawns in these guys. And as you can see, there's a monster, there's a bush that pushes the monsters so they can't get too close, but there's also a laser from the side. Now, once you're at the far end, you are pretty much immune. They're too far away to do any splash damage, you don't have to worry about it, and they all go to sleep at the other end, so you can just shoot a few rockets, but I get cold feet and I fall down. That's the mistake. The other mistake is you don't want to be shooting the gun at the spawns while they're still spawning in and teleporting around, because it will kill you. That happened to me in an attempt earlier today, I think it was. An attempt to make it go faster. That's where I died, and I thought, you know what? I think I'm happy with what I got. I think I was at this point in 35 minutes or something. It was a heartbreaker. It was a heartbreaker. No, it was about 40 minutes, so it was about 10 minutes faster, I think. It was a heartbreaker, but that's okay. And here, as long as you kind of do big circles, use your nail gun, stay out of range of their lightning. Didn't quite do it there. So I panic here, and I drop down. This is another big time waste. I didn't want to do this, but here you go. Because it means that I can't do my drop down to my secret with such low health. It's impossible, so I've got to come here to pick up a health kit. Which I do. And I'm not best pleased, but life goes on, right? So we can finally finish clearing this out at least. There's one monster alive down there. I'm just trying not to get killed, but look how much damage those things do. They are terrifying. And I wanted to grab this armour, and I missed because I got hit with the thing. But I was going to drop down here anyway, because if you drop down here, it teleports you, and you land on that ledge. However, if you don't press a button, you will fall into this crack, and then you can't move. You can just very slowly climb back to the top if you want to. It's another route to get to the Flubbery Friend secret, but I didn't want to. This is super annoying. What you do is you need to tap back just as you're about to land, and then you'll land safely on the platform and you won't get stuck like I did. and then I can drop down into the main area, which I'm doing now. I'm just taking a bit of health on the way down. And we are now almost ready for our final fight. I think I'm on the lookout for the last of the spawns that drop down. I think they might be here. There they are. Those spawns jumped off the roof. They have to die. Or did they? Those ones didn't jump off the roof, I think. I think those ones fell on the platform and teleported down to the abyss, and then were teleported to the backpack secret I fell onto, but that's where they ended up, potentially. But there's usually something up there, basically, so always go up there and have a look. Everything else now is dead, though. We are, I think, the checkpoint number for me is 762 or 792 monsters, with 47 out of 49 secrets. So groovy, rock and roll. We're going to take our red armor, the second red armor that's outside of the final fight, and the one that you can get without being a secret, and we're going into this wonderful final fight. This looks really cool, by the way. This is like some bridge burner style architecture in Doom, but not vulgar and stupid. That's mean. No, it's not. It doesn't have that vulgar edge that it does in Doom. It looks really, 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 really swish in Quake. I'm super impressed by this. And if you look above here, there's a motif, which is I'll talk about later. Anyway, this fight, loads of quads, endlessly respawning ammo piles, and health at either side. It spawns things at both sides. What you want to do basically is control the middle and use the jump pads to go from one side to the other when things get too tough. If you stay in the middle here, you're hopefully, because of the dumb pathfinding in this game, everything is just going to go toward the central area, as they've done here. If you time it right and jump over at this point, you'll get here just as the spawns are active. You want to kill those spawns immediately, and then jump straight to this area here, because you get the pentagram. There's one of these for the entire fight. You want this immediately. The reason why is because now at this side, there's a lot of shamblers that spawn in. And the shamblers take up a lot of space, which make it very dangerous to jump back and forth. They have a lightning attack, so they can peg you in midair, and they're just generally annoying. So we're using as much LG ammo as possible to carve a path through them. Coming back here before our pen expires to kill as many of these bleeding spawns that come in on the other side as possible. And on the other side as well, there's lots of Vors. You also get some emergency health and quads that are on these jump pads that I'm just there controlling away from, because I don't want to take them, basically. If you want to play this much more aggressively and much better than I'm doing now, use the grenade launcher as you go up and down. Just spam grenades and rain down fire over and over as you jump back and forth. Come down, get onto the edge of the spawning ammo piles, and keep shooting. It works really, really well. But as you can see here, there's more than enough health and armor to do this. It's actually a much more dangerous looking fight than it is to play, but god, it's fun to play. It's the kind of extremely high density monster slaughter that you'd see in something like Cook or in Ziggy's map. What was it called? Ziggy's Prototype Jam map that we played, and a bunch of other ones. It's just super fun. A Colossus map, something like that. It's super fun, taking advantage of all the air mobility and stuff that makes Quake so fun. Above here as well, above the doorway, there is a tarot card motif. There is, I believe, it is the Six of Swords tarot card facing upright and not inverted, which I think signifies like a rite of passage or a big transition, which is very fitting for a final fight. So, and that's what this fight really is. It's the trial by fire to get yourself out of here, basically. Something like that. I don't know much about the tarot, but I thought it was the Nook of the North when I first saw it. I thought it was like a seal hunt or something. And then I actually twigged it in my head, oh, it's that tarot card. And I thought about it for a bit, and it's very fitting. The one non-prototype texture that you see, basically, in the entire map. It's quite cute. It's a nice Easter egg. And as you can see, this room is now totally cleared. No problem at all. I've got 228 health. I've got 200 red, because I've got the red left over, and there's even a quad left. I mean, it's not a difficult fight, it's really not. It's just super fun. But now we've done that, there's about 1,000 monsters there. We still have about 500 monsters left. And you're probably thinking, how's that? And it's not a secret fight, but it's an optional fight. And we're going to go to it now. So if I take the teleporter up to here, and go through this giant teleporter here, ooh, I missed a monster. How embarrassing. Thankfully, they're just where I want them to be. If we go through this teleporter here, We're quadded up, and you get some sort of cool Doom style, hell revealed space void. Just spam grenades here, basically. That's all you gotta do. As long as you have grenade ammo, you're not gonna have an issue. If you don't have grenade ammo, this can be kind of a pain in the ass. This is why I'm doing it last. Also, it ensures I've got plenty of armour, so if something were to go wrong, I'll be alright. Quad's about to expire, so push through to the other side with the LG. Clean up. Couldn't be any simpler. So now we're going to use the last of our red armour to grab ourselves the last 2 secrets. This is something I could have done with the Ranger's huge jump pad. I could have got both of them with that, I think. But I decided I didn't trust myself to do the jump pad secrets here. So I waste a lot of time taking the alternative route to get there. I could have just easily used the rocket launcher to jump over the jump pads, use the jump pads to slide my way across, glide into this final secret, leave the map immediately, but instead I decided to go out here, which would be an issue, but this lift is bugged up. It's in the wrong position. So this is where I panicked when I did this demo, and I thought, okay, well I can rocket jump on those pillars if need be, but I don't want to use my health and my armour. But thankfully, just going underneath it made it reset and go back down, so emergency over. So this is my solution for getting these last 2 secrets that don't involve using jump pads, that I don't want to deal with. You can go up here, which also gives you a really nice like God's eye view of the rest of the map. So you've got some nice vistas that I don't look at to the side here. Maybe if you've got some stragglers left over, you could use this as a strategic point to have a look for them. And yeah, over here is the ammo. You can jump to this from the jump pad. You can see it in the far distance there, just glinting in the distance. You can jump over to that. And then thinking vertically, another secret found here. You can also just rocket jump up to the thinking vertically one, or when you fall in the abyss here, when you spawn back in, you spawn in just above where I'm standing, you can just air control onto that ledge as well. But that's it. That's it. We're done. That's every little thing. Not the fastest run, but hopefully this casual run was a little bit enlightening. I enjoyed playing it. You will enjoy playing it too. Go check this out, it's on Slipseer. I no longer fear the Ranger guarding my heel by ComfyByTheFire. An incredibly impressive first showing for a map. If you're a fan of Mazu's stuff, or Colossus's stuff, or Slaughtery's stuff in Doom or Quake, you are going to have an absolute ball playing this. And even if you don't enjoy those things, you're probably going to have an absolute ball playing this, because the vast majority of the map outside the final fight isn't really a slaughter map at all. It's just a big, fun adventure, really. So give it a go. That's all from me for today. Goodbye. Thank you very much.